Hey folks, Mal the Train Tutor back in the studio, back with another vlog on my Terrain Essentials book. Yes, I've been a little bit quiet on the vlogs these past couple of weeks because I've essentially just been stuck at home writing. And when I came to edit the vlogs up, it was pretty much, I'm writing today, I'm writing today, I'm writing today. So it was getting a bit repetitive, you know what I mean? Yeah, but times are a-changing, and this week is the start of the change because this is where we move into the build section of doing the book. Now, this is actually all the hills, the rivers, the buildings, all the stuff I'd planned to build. It's quite a bit, to be truthful. Quite a bit. Have I bitten off more than I can chew? No, but I am going to be chewing with my mouth open on this one. Just like I tell the kids never to do. Now, fingers crossed, yeah, the audio on this video should sound a little bit better. That's because I've got this new fluffy microphone. It's a proper one as well. Yeah, so fingers crossed it's a little bit less echoey in here. Yeah, I'll have to see when I get this on the editing footage. Now, book-wise, as I said, backer kit is opened. I think about 90% of you guys have filled in your surveys. If you back the Kickstarter, but you haven't jumped on Backer Kit to fill in your survey, we don't know what add-ons you've picked or where to send your book because we don't have your address. Okay, so links down below to Backer Kit. So if you were on the campaign, you haven't filled that on, jump down below, follow the link to the update, follow the instructions, dead easy. Yeah, on top of that, if you did miss the campaign, yeah, you can also jump onto the print run in Backer Kit. So if you weren't able to jump on and get yourself the book and everything during the campaign, now's your chance. Links down below. So, operation today. Today is Tuesday, okay? And the task is, I've got my mate Lee coming in. Lee's a professional photographer at one of the local universities. And he's an events photographer and stuff like that. And he's a Terrainiac. He builds terrain and he plays 40k and stuff like that. But he's coming in, he's bringing in some camera gear and that sort of stuff. And we're setting it up so we can start doing our photography. I've even brought a brand new cutting mat for it. How posh is that? So, fingers crossed today, by the end of today, I will walk away and I will be completely set up, yeah, to do the photography for the book. That's the case, then tomorrow will be a day at home, just finishing off some writing, bullet pointing down and getting prepped. And then the tail end of the week, I'll be either prepping, starting the work or starting the work. I'm not quite sure yet. Because Lee's only coming in today, I'm a little bit behind, but the work I've got to do in the first couple of weeks is really simple stuff. It's essentially just basic. So I reckon I can catch up with that next week. Yeah, so I'm not overly concerned. Yeah, he says. But that's where I am right now. So, I'll see you after the swish and I'll let you know how it's gone. All the best, yeah? So, we've skipped ahead slightly. And by slightly, I mean it's 2 o'clock, yeah? Sunday morning. So, probably about 10, 12 hours before this video goes out. Now, so we've jumped from Tuesday, yeah, to Sunday night. What's happened? Quite simply, yeah, I've had a brilliant week. Yeah, and I've been a really busy bee. But unfortunately, the only thing I've been busy at, yeah, is writing. And to be perfectly honest, yeah, the other clips that I'd done, it's just me saying, I'm writing. So I thought, do you know what? Let's leave it to the end of when I've done me writing, yeah, and then I can watch it, do the vlog and wrap it up. And it is taken, yeah, till 2 o'clock on Sunday night, yeah, Sunday morning for me to wrap up the writing I need to do. Now, before I go into the writing, okay, photography, it went really well. Massive shout out to my mate Lee. Yeah, he came down, he's lent me some lights, yeah, to get me started. He showed me, he taught me how to do photography, you know, literally all sorts of things. I understand apertures, shutter speeds, exposures, ISOs or ISOs. I understand depth of field. I understand the difference between the lights, and my camera is now I've got the camera set up for what I need to do. We set up the photography area in the studio and done it in such a way that the lights and where it's not going to impede me working, which was a concern. You know what I mean? It's also not going to impede me videoing. Yeah, for me doing the terrain stuff on the channel. Now I know that's been a little bit quiet. I will address that at the end. Yeah, and so it was really good. So massive thank you to Lee. You'll have to excuse me. I'm a little bit. It's been a long couple of days. So the photography is really good. Here, have a look at these pictures. Not bad, eh? I mean, there were just bits that I put down, but they were taken, what you call it, freehand. You know what I mean? Holding the actual camera. Yeah, look, I've got the pose and everything. Thankfully. But I'm now happy that I can do the photography that I want to do for the book, which is really important because building starts Monday. Well, prep Monday, building starts Tuesday, and we start the first of documenting, or I start the first of documenting, you know, the actual techniques and writing those bits. But I don't want to go too in depth on that just yet, because that's when the vlogs get interesting. So got there. Okay. Photography's all great. Happy with that. The writing, the material section, I got a little bit behind with that, to be perfectly honest. It's a beast of a section. Yeah, it's 18 pages and covers everything from, you know, the essentials, your tools, brushes, paints, glues, putties, paint. And then all the dry stuff, the core materials, your scratch building, terrain accessories, come on, both, come on, scenics, natural, dry stuff, wet stuff, essentials, tools. And the specialist bought scenics. Yeah, but it is a beast of a section, and it is the biggest section in the book, word-wise. Okay, it's a challenge because there's no definitive list. Yeah, there's no real terrain shop. You don't go into the terrain shop on the high street and go up to where's your thatch roof materials section, mate? Yeah, where all the different materials you can use for thatch roofs are conveniently on a shelf. Instead, terrain making, we use so many disciplines, artistic disciplines, and so many different materials. Yeah, and so much recycled and naturally collected materials that there's an almost endless list. So what I've had to do is narrow it down into the starting essentials. And then with each broad category of type of materials, go for, look, these are the core materials. These are the regularly used, you know, ones for certain jobs. And these are, you know, the odds and ends you can look into after the book. Yeah. And with regards to the level of depth, it's like, I've written, for example, yeah, there's perhaps a paragraph been written on blades, yeah, you know, sharp blades and scalpels and stuff like that. But there's been a page been written on the different types of brushes, yeah, because they have lots of different uses and that sort of stuff. And well, a bit of an exaggeration, but it's that sort of, I've gone in depth where I've needed to go in depth. So there's some sections that are very quickly run through points and, you know, probably cover three, you know, in the scratch building, I covered like 4 or 5 different materials in a sentence. You know, the da are good for da. Yeah, and then moving on. So we can cover a lot of materials in scratch building materials in a short space. In other areas, I've gone quite in depth. So with regards to the natural stuff, you have to know how to preserve it and how to work with it. So I've included that information with the foraging information, you know. And so it's been a beast. Now, the reason it's taken till this late, yeah, and I haven't finished second drafting now, I've just finished the first write. Yeah, but the reason it's taken till this late is because I'd forgotten, yeah, when I started the section about 3-4 weeks ago, yeah, that I was pulling in some sections from the water section, the rivers, the modular rivers, some from the snow, and also a broad overview from the kit section. Now, it works out about 1,500 words. Yeah, but I had to pull that in as well. Yeah, and I've forgotten it. I decided to do it at the start of writing. Yeah, but I was working through the tools and wet stuff at that point. And so when I got to watch it, I thought I was finishing up with the dry stuff. Yeah, and then, oh God, I've got to pull those things in as well. So they're pulled in, but it's looking, yeah, it's sitting about, just under 18,000 words. Yeah, now it's second draft, that'll reduce down as I clean up my writing. Okay, but that's good because that's the page count for the section. Yeah. Now, once it's cleaned up, I'll have space for the pictures. So overall, I'm really happy with it. Really happy. Now, Kez, at the very moment, darling that she is sitting in the kitchen and just basically going through and correcting grammar, ready for me to do a second draft tomorrow before the live show and then basically get it nailed. Yeah, so chuffed on that. Now, that's important because next week, and this is important because I've dropped the ball on the channel. I specifically chosen to drop the ball with producing videos and what I'd planned to do. The reason being is that to produce decent terrain videos, you can't just nip in and spend a couple of hours. You've got to go in one day, let things dry, go in, paint things, seal things and all those sort of things and the processing. And I simply couldn't commit to that many visits to the studio with getting, all the final ordering done, learning all the final kit, dealing with the final writing, and getting prepped for basically, it'll be tomorrow now, walking in the studio and getting the materials out and planning the order of how I'm going to spend the week, covering basing and ground colours and starting the grass work stuff. Yeah, and documenting, photographing, all that sort of stuff. So, we're drawing a line, but I dropped the ball intentionally and it has hurt the channel. Yeah, there I can see it on my stats. Now, I've been here before. Yeah, in past it's been because of the black dog. Yeah, now it isn't that in this case. I've intentionally done it and I know it will recover once I get back into it. And now I've learned how to do these vlogs quickly. I'm recording a lot quicker. I'm editing a lot quicker. Yeah, because I've been practicing a lot of that stuff as part of the prep. From this point in, for the next 10 weeks, I am in the studio every day, Monday to Friday, building. Now, there will be times when I won't be working on the book stuff. I'll be working on other stuff while the book stuff dries and that sort of stuff. So I'm kitted up. There's going to be loads of videos coming. I've got a load of ideas for short little videos, yeah, to get a little bit more information out there. Yeah, but that are easier for me to make and quicker for me to produce. And so, sorry about dropping the ball. Yeah, it's because I don't want to drop the ball on the book. Yeah, but it's okay because I knew I was running back round, picking the ball up and we're charging for it with it forward. So that's where we are right now. Moving forward, yeah, I'm in the studio on Monday. There are plenty more videos to come. There are definitely plenty more videos to come. I tackle writing up the start of the earth and earth colours and texturing and grass work, practical sections, which I'm really looking forward to. And also I've got to lay out the practical section, which is the other beast in the book. Now, the practical section it's essentially, yeah, the build phase, but the core techniques that go across it, and the various stages, yeah. And basically what I'm trying to do is anything that will be used regularly in lots of the build sections moving on as we look at specific themes and scales and things like that. Yeah, any regular techniques I'm covering as part of one general, back to basics, core techniques sort of thing section. Now, it's a bit of a beast. I think it's about another 18 pages, but it's a practical one. Now that's a lot easier to write with the materials because I don't need to fact check, and I don't need to cross reference, and I don't need to worry about if I've missed something because I know this stuff inside out. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it is the basic principles of dry brushing, painting, and sealing and all. We've got this covered, hopefully. So my phone's just flashed at me. Yeah, recording this on the phone. Not bad, eh? Quick videos. So I'm going to call it now. Right, guys. Sorry I dropped the ball, but it was in good order. Yeah, we're picking it back up, yeah, and people who are reading what I'm writing saying it's brilliant. So hopefully it's worth it, guys. I hope you find it worth it. Yeah. Thanks for having faith in me. Right. All the best, yeah. Ta-ra.